There are many different types of investments. Franchising is only one of them. As the daily coach who loves to talk about investments, I thought it would be fun to share some other passive investment opportunities for 2021. A few weeks ago, I recorded a conversation with a great friend of mine who is an expert at real estate syndication. What the heck is that? I didn't really know either until I got to know her, and actually now she is also a franchisee. She taught me about real estate syndication, and I taught her about franchising. I hope you enjoy my conversation with Miss Stephanie Wankel, who is an expert at real estate syndication. Stephanie Wankel, welcome to the Kim Daly YouTube channel. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Oh, excited
I
to
am
be
so
here.
excited to have you here because it wasn't too long ago that I was a guest on your show. And that led to many wonderful things between the two of us. So who knows where this conversation will go. So the conversation that we're having is around passive income streams, like great passive investments for 2021. And of course, it made me think of you. And, you know, franchising is never truly passive, as it sounds like you sort of know now. Stephanie owns a franchise. But it can be more what we call semi-absentee. But there are other investments like real estate or infinite banking. So you're here today. I'm bringing you on into the conversation to talk about your expertise, which is with real estate and syndication real estate. So do you want to introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about what real estate syndication is?
Sure. My name's Stephanie Wankel, and I am in the tech space from a career perspective in product development. I also have been a real estate investor for about 13 years, and I started like a lot of people start, which is buying rental properties. The unique thing is that I was newly divorced, single parent, half my assets, half my income, and the recession came in 2008, and that's when I decided to buy real estate as an investment. It's very akin to a pandemic in 2020, and I decided to buy some martial arts franchises. So I say the story because what I hear people say all the time is, I'm waiting to buy real estate, I'm waiting for a crash. They're just waiting for something. And the best time to buy real estate is yesterday. And if you didn't do it then you need to do it today. So, I think we all have a list of reasons why we're not jumping in and taking action on things. And I just like to start out by, it's never the right time. But with real estate, you're compounding and growing and growing. And I started with residential properties, which I still have a portfolio. And as you mentioned, about 3 years ago, I jumped into real estate syndication, basically just to scale. In the real estate investing world, its number of doors helps not only generate wealth, but reduce risk. If I have, let's say, one rental property and the tenants turn over, then I'm out of rent for how many ever months. Where if I have an apartment building with 200 doors, 5 people leave, then I don't feel that pain. So there's a lot of reasons why going bigger in real estate is better. And what real estate syndication is basically an operator or sponsor knows a market, has relationships with brokers, and gets a good deal. In my case, I like apartments. I also like mobile home parks and self-storage, and there's a lot of different assets you can use for syndication. But I partner with these operators who have a track record in a market, and I help bring them investors for the down payment on the apartment. And how that helps for the investors is they get basically great returns in the form of cash flow every month. So if you're an investor in one of these apartment buildings, these are just made up numbers. Let's say you invest $100,000, it's getting 8% cash on cash. That means you're going to get upwards of $600 check in your account every month. And you're literally doing nothing. You have no risk. You aren't out finding the deal. You're not getting tenant phone calls with toilets or termites. You're literally just collecting checks. And then the operator is renovating units, and over a 5 to 7 year time frame, they're bringing the value up in the asset, and then they're going to sell it, and you will have basically doubled your money and you get your investment back. So that's just kind of the high level how syndication works. The other thing I'll touch on is, like you said, with franchising, this idea of completely passive or more active. The same applies to real estate. There's active investing and there's this continuum of passive. And the most active investor I would call is like a fix and flipper. They're actively in their business, they're doing work, they're turning it over. And you can go all the way up the chain to like a syndication, which is truly, truly passive, where you aren't doing any work in your investment.
What a great explanation. So, when you say that there's no risk, do you say that because these apartments that are being invested in, like, they never go under?
So by risk, everything has a risk, right? So the way that you vet the risk of the deal is by working with great partners that you like, know, and trust, and that have a track record, and obviously people, and you have to do some due diligence, just like with everything. You have to know the market, know that it's a good market, know that the fundamentals and the business case make sense to you, and all of those kinds of things. When I speak about risk, I'm mostly saying from a one thing that scares real estate investors is the fear of making a bad decision and losing all their money. And the risk of with one single rental versus an apartment is it's less risk with an apartment because you just have more doors. Like I mentioned, all of those reasons, where it seems scarier. Like I don't know anything about this. There's no one that says you have to start with one rental and move into that. You can go right in, and it's actually less risky from that perspective.
You said so many things that are so aligned with franchising, not just from the continuum of like active ownership to semi absentee, or even like, I have a few opportunities like laundromats that are almost absentee in franchising. But then just this idea that you're partnering with people that you know, like, and trust. I mean, that's the number one reason to invest in a franchise, right? So, because you don't want to go out there and have to reinvent the wheel, and you don't have to be the expert. You can buy into that track record of success, which cuts down your due diligence time and increases your chances of being successful. Yeah, that was beautifully said. Okay, so talk a little bit about your podcast in case somebody wants to learn more about how to invest with you or how to learn more about real estate. Talk about your podcast.
Okay, my podcast is Frenzied to Financial Freedom podcast. And it started because in this real estate syndication space, there are very few women. And I would go to syndication conferences, and in the audience, there's like a smattering of 5% women, zero women on the stage. And so it started by just putting something out there for a platform for fellow real estate investors to, showcase what they're doing in the space, also inspire potential investors that want to invest in real estate, that all of these amazing women investors are just like you and I. They're just regular people, and they just learned about something and are doing it, and they can do it, and so can you. That's kind of the main gist. And then we branched out to also talk to like women entrepreneurs like yourself, talking about, expanding from just investing to for real estate to investing in businesses. Because if you've read the Rich Dad Poor Dad series, there's four quadrants, and one is investor and one is businesses. And the idea of both of these things can generate active and passive income. And so having multiple streams of income is kind of how you win at this building wealth game.
So well said. And so that's a nice segue into is my asking, is that why you decided after having me on as a guest on your show and learning about franchising to take a peek yourself and to try to find a way to diversify?
Yeah, definitely. I totally believe in this multiple streams of income, of passive checks, whether it be dividend stock investing, real estate investing, or building businesses. And the pandemic had hit, and I wasn't buying real estate. I didn't buy any real estate in 2020 because sometimes it's good to take action in something, and sometimes it's good to step back and see what's going to unfold. I have 10 rental properties in my own portfolio and then 5 apartments that I have with partners. And I was just pausing to see, what's not that I think you shouldn't invest in real estate, but I was just waiting to see what happened. But I have an itch to continually grow and build streams of income. And I love the idea of franchising because one of the areas I'm not as strong in is processes and systems. I don't love them. I would rather think of big ideas and do big things. And so what franchising gave me was someone who has the infrastructure, the community, the processes all in place, and I can just jump in and, start building a business and generating different streams of income.
And the business you invested in has like no relevance to anything else you're doing in your life, correct?
Right. Yes. Yeah. Initially, I was like, I want it to be relevant to something but when I went through the process with you, it really is about the numbers, obviously, and the financial aspect, and then are you aligned with the people, the vision, and the franchise I chose is about helping families and kids develop character through martial arts. And I am a personal development junkie. I love everything about it, and I feel there's a gap with kids. There, you don't learn those things in school. Sometimes you don't learn them in your household, and so minus the punching and the kicking, you're offering a service to families to help build character in their young children. So that resonated with me, and my son is doing this project with me, and it's kind of full circle from that
That's
aspect.
so amazing. It's like a little legacy piece, and you're just so well spoken. You're so inspiring. I hope my viewers can understand why we just had love affair for each other after the podcast. You're so great. Well, if somebody wants to reach out to you, know more about you, how do they find you?
You can go to newheightsinvestmentgroup.com if you want to learn more about syndication. When I partner with syndicators or operators, I sometimes offer investors to come with me and invest in deals. So if you want to join my newsletter, you can sign up, and I send those out. Also, you can reach me at Stephanie@newheightsinvestmentgroup.com, and I'm happy and open to answer anyone's questions. I love helping people learn more about real estate and jump in the game at whatever level. If syndication isn't for you, I've done almost everything: short-term rentals, turnkey, and happy to help anyone who wants to jump in.
And franchising now.
Like all of these things, huge learning, right? Huge learning. You think things are going to go a certain way, and you're like, okay, this is actually how this goes. I mean, it's amazing. You jump into, construction, commercial leases, architecture, hiring. Like, I hire a lot of people in my tech business. That's a whole different thing than hiring martial artists. And so a whole bunch of fun
A
learnings.
whole bunch of new personal development.
Exactly. Growth as it
That's
is.
so great. You're amazing. One more time, the name of your podcast.
Frenzied to Financial Freedom podcast.
Perfect, because I want people to check it out because it's a great show. Thank you so much. I so appreciate the time that you gave to us today. You are absolutely inspiring and so amazing. I just love you.
Thanks.
Thank you. Have a great day today.
Okay,
Bye-bye.
bye-bye.
What a fun conversation. I hope now you really understand what real estate syndication is. If you are interested in more information on real estate syndication, Stephanie's information is in the description below. And as always, you can reach directly out to the Daily Coach. For more videos just like this one, don't forget to like and subscribe.